Hey there, welcome to the latest episode of Hiker Homily. This time we're going to talk about custom inserts. What the heck are those? Well, what they basically are is the padded plate that's in your shoe. There are some places you can go, and I can only speak to my local area. You're going to have to look in your local area to see where you can find them. But in my local area, the closest one I can get to is out in Concord, which for me is approximately an hour and 15-minute drive, depending on how the traffic is, into the what we call the Northeast Bay area. So we discovered these a while ago through the cross-country team that my wife coaches on, that my youngest daughter was a member of for quite a while before she graduated from high school. And I have to tell you, one of the reasons why I do, because it's always one of the questions is, why do you do that? In fact, I'm going to get into that in a minute. As you can see here, we're going to get into some clip. It's a bit of a drive, and it's kind of a fun drive. We take a little two-lane highway out through the countryside, over some bridges, all the way out to the East Bay, to the city of Concord. I'm not sponsored by this particular store or company, so I'm not going to give them advertisement. It just happens to be the only one in my area that does this kind of thing, especially for a reasonable price. So why travel all that kind of way out there, as you can see there, to get these things? For one thing, straight up comfort when walking. If you combine these custom inserts with the right kind of shoe that works well for your feet, you can really extend your comfort miles, as far as, before you get to the point of your feet are just sore and just done with walking, and you just have to power through a few more miles when you're doing especially long distance hiking and stuff like that. These really extend that for me. And they go beyond that. At least my experience, and I know it's been my wife's experience too, is we have some issues with lower back pain, getting up into the age that we are for various reasons, muscle strains, things like that. And having these custom inserts help improve your stride and how you're walking, and they actually have helped with the back pain too. So really that's the big thing. And so you can see from the pictures here is what you do is you go in, they take some measurements of your feet. Now for me it was pretty simple because we had been there before they had our measurements in, so they just confirm everything is right and stuff like that. Then they get these inserts, they heat them up, and as you can see there, they put them down on the like press pad. You stand on them for a certain amount of time, and what you end up getting is this, and you can kind of see how that is shaped. Basically, that conforms to my foot and my arch, my specific arch, and where my feet go down, the pressure points where I'm stepping and things like that. Now this on top of the padding of my shoe is comfortable hiking. It really is. It lets me put some miles in, and I know my wife, who is a runner, and quite a few of the kids, including my youngest daughter, who were on a cross-country team, would get these, and it just let them be more comfortable and therefore do more miles. And especially when you're talking about running and things like that, the more miles you do, the more stamina you get, the faster pace you go for things. Like if you're training 7-8 mile runs, when it comes time to do your 3-mile race, you're at a good pace because you've been able to do that training, and you could do it comfortably with that kind of thing. So that's why custom inserts, because that's always the big thing, is why do you do that? Because they can be pricey. These for a set are somewhere around $80. Yeah. They will last. However, the last set I had lasted 2.5 years. I actually technically they're still working. I actually just took them out of my hiking shoes and put them into my everyday slip-on shoes that I use for walking around, shopping, chore days, and things like that. And so they're actually still working fine, kind of help with that. But for the actual hiking, So yeah, 2.5 years with some decent hikes in there. You've seen the 2.5 years, the hike reports I've done. A lot of hiking around. Some that I don't put on here. I do a decent amount when the weather is right. Just walking to keep my legs in shape, my knees in shape, and everything on levee pathways, little places like Cosumnes River Preserve, things like that. Things that I've already reviewed on the channel, so I don't film every time I go there, unless I'm doing a Hiker Homily or something. So yeah, a lot of miles on them for 2.5 years that they lasted. So $80 spread over 2.5 years with a lot of use. Not bad. Now, if you were a long distance hiker, you're doing something like the Pacific Crest Trail or something like that, yeah, you're going to want to buy several sets of these to have in your resupply boxes. And you'll probably, they're not going to last 2.5 years, right? I forgot what the mileage is on these, but yeah, every 300-400 miles, you're probably going to have to replace them, or at the very least, as often as you have to replace your shoes. Because a lot of people, that's what they talk about is on the long distance hikes. They get to a certain mileage and they need to replace shoes. If you're doing custom inserts, you're probably going to want to replace them at the same time. So figure out how often you're going to do that. That's how many sets you would have to get. But on just like someone like me who's doing day hikes and backpacking trips and simple things like that, 2.5 years for $80, not bad. So it is. So like I say, custom inserts. It's a big thing. Reviewing real quickly. Not just for the foot comfort. They really have comfort, but they helped in my stride. They helped with little things like lower back pain, some of the knee pain I was having because I was no longer taking weird strides or whatever. I had some good padding there that properly supported my arch. My specific arch molded directly for me. And it really did help. So again, not sponsored. I haven't even mentioned the company I went to. I don't think the name is in any of the pictures. If it is, they are not a sponsor. I'm not paid by them. And I only, to be perfectly honest, the main reason I go to them is because they're the only ones in my area. Nobody in the actual Central Valley that I've been able to find actually does it properly like this when they say custom insert. Unless you go to a podiatrist or something like that, an actual medical thing. Just as an athlete, the closest thing I can do is drive an hour or 15 minutes to Concord and get these. So you're going to have to look in your area to see who does something like that, and if you decide to go for it. So not advertising a specific company. Whoever does it in your area, hey, hopefully they can help you. As you can hear, the ladies are over there. That's what's called an egg song. I was just over there. They have their treats. I gave them their treats. That's one of them telling me, I laid an egg. Come get it. So, serious, that's what they do. So there you go. Time for me to go take care of them. Other than that, custom inserts. That's why I do it. Something you might want to think about, especially if you're an older hiker like me who's having issues with aches and pains and things like that. These going on your feet and walking may actually help alleviate some of those pains. I'll be right there. I'll catch you guys later.